I hope as you did the radian activity, you noticed that as you laid your string down on the circle, whenever you measured the radius of the circle and the radius of the circle here and here, you got one, it probably ended up something kind of like this. So that it ended up happening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with a little bit of leftover in the end. So you can kind of see how there are 6 point something radians in a circle. We also know that there are 360 degrees in a circle. Whenever you're talking about radians, not only does this go around 6 point something times, I noticed that 3 landed over here. So 3 point something is the same thing as 180 degrees. So you probably are kind of seeing by now that when we have the number 3 point something, typically we're talking about 3.14. And 3.14 is the same thing as pi. So a semicircle, or one that goes from 0 to 180 degrees, we would say is pi radians. In fact, we're going to take a circle, and we're going to be doing this several times over the next few days. We can take a circle and divide it in terms of radians. And this may be something, if you're not taking notes, you want to go ahead and jot this down, because you're going to need to memorize it in order to use it in calculus and also in math analysis. So this is going to be something you're going to want to memorize. It's going to be part of the unit circle that we're going to talk about another day. But I could say that there are 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. And as you're taking notes, you may have to pause this video and write and go back and forth. We also know that in this circle, 0 degrees is the same thing as 0 radians. And we just talked about the fact that 180 degrees is the same thing as 3.14 radians, or pi radians. So 180 and pi radians are the same thing. So since 180 degrees means pi, then 90 degrees is going to be pi over 2. So I could say if I had an angle that went from here all the way up to there, I could either say it's 90 degrees, or I could say it's pi over 2 radians. So this is 1 pi over 2 radians, that's 2 pi over 2, which is just pi. So 370 degrees is 3 pi over 2. And then so if we go another 90 degrees, it's 4 pi over 2, which is just the same thing as 2 pi. So 0 degrees also is the same place as 360 degrees. So 360 degrees is 2 pi. We can even go as far as dividing this pi unit into fourths. So a 45 degree, a 90 degree, a 135 degree. So 135 degrees, this is 180 degrees. If we go another 45 degrees, we'd be at 225 degrees. Another 45, we're at 270. Another 45, and we're at 315. And then another 45, and we're at 360. So what we've done is we've divided 1 pi into 4 equal measurements. So if this is 1 pi, then a fourth of it would be pi over 4. And this would be 2 pi over 4, which is just pi over 2. This would be 3 pi over 4. This would be 4 pi over 4, which is 1 pi. This would be 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, and 8 pi over 4, which is 2 pi. And again, we will do this multiple times, but this is going to be something you're going to need to memorize. That whenever we're dividing up the circle, 180 degrees is 1 pi, 360 is 2 pi, and then we'll start dividing it into areas. And another day, we're even going to divide this into sixths or thirds and memorize what those are compared to their degree measurements.